Alright, well, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the latest in my build series here. Previously we've had a look at the Hunter up above there, the Carpenter down below. We have plans to fill out this entire area here, which is around my shrine, which as you'll see is just above my head there. I plan on putting a massive residence here for myself on this flat piece, which is going to have a nice view of the tower over there and the water. And once you get high enough as well, you'll have a view of the Snow Peak Mountains as well. But the plan here eventually is to fit all of the builders around this central area here. I've created a little bit of a footpath down here. I've got plans for one of the other survivors in here. Not sure who it's going to be as yet. So that's one. And the other two that I've already built is 2 and 3. I'm going to put the farmer here. So I'm not sure whether that's going to be the farmer residence there or whether I'll put it underneath me. Probably we'll put it underneath me, so that'll be space for 4. And then all I've got to do is find space for another 2. And one of which is going to be here. So if you followed my series before, we just finished this build here for the Carpenter, and this is all poised to be around a central marketplace area so that everybody can access storefronts. So this is the hunter's storefront for trophies and whatnot, and there's going to be a storefront here for, you know, other things, general market things. And the hunter, the farmer is going to be here on this nice big flat piece. So I'll set up a few little planters and whatnot along here, and we'll work out exactly how we're going to have the farmer. I'm not really sure as yet, but we'll work it out. But what we have done here is we've started on Alistair Crowley, the collector. So what we've got for him thus far is a nice big entry, and that's opening right onto the marketplace, which is going to be pretty handy for him. And we've only just begun this. So if you followed the series before, this was a complete rock face previously. I've come through the side on a couple of tiny little places which I've got to fix. Also, if you're following my series on walkthroughs on the hollow halls, you'll notice that I've got a iron hollow cyclops. That's because I've found a duplication glitch that I came up with myself for duplicating the hollow cyclopses. If you want to follow along with that, I'll put a link for you on the top right hand side of the screen. So what we've done in terms of theme here for the collector is I've gone through and tried to use the new blocks. So we've got ectoplasm for the supports for the bar here. You would have seen previously we used the well block for one of the benches and one of the other residences. It's because it's one of the new blocks, wanted to use it. And what we've used for the floor here is the new red marble block, which I think is looking pretty cool. I may take one row out of that and fix that extra row up and make it red marble. It's just a little tiny tweak, but something to do later on. So what I've done is done all of the bookshelves and whatnot, tables, chairs, all of the rest of it that Crowley builds, and that's going to be part of his marketplace. So we've got a large burner in here. I haven't really sort of finalised this yet. It was you know, just sort of thrown together this morning very, very quickly. So the end goal for this is going to be to have a residence sitting behind it. So what I'll have is similar to what I had in the Carpenter's residence, where he is able to go from his residence, which will be behind here, straight into his marketplace and go and do his little day job and then just retire at the end of the day. So I've also put one of the large braziers out here. I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep it or not. It's really, really bright at night time. The green is a beautiful colour, but I'm not really sure about how bright the entire thing is, because it's really, really quite bright. And I had a beautiful sort of ambiance going with all of the other really smaller lights that you'll see there on the other 1, 2, 3, 4 floors that I've got going into the side of the hill there. So my intention for Crowley's residence here is going to be that his residence will come out on at least one side, possibly two, of the rock face. So I've had to do a bit of building there just above my head because I poked through the wall, which I'll clean up and make it into some flower soil and all the rest of it. But as I said, we're just sort of doing groundwork, so it'll look a little bit like that, and I'll put some planting soil there and whatnot there as well. So the intention is to have his residence behind there, and also I'll have a little veranda type thing like what I have over here for the Carpenter and Hunter residence, with like a little dining area and whatnot out here. And also that will be overlooking the marketplace, so I might sort of flatten this little bit of the hill out as well, so it's sort of jutting out over the top, sort of like the other residence is there for the Hunter. I'm yet to decide in terms of size of the residence whether I will make it go all the way from the left hand side of the mountain here all the way over to the right. Decision I'm yet to make. It'll probably come out over here, about where my head is. If I do make it both sides, I think what will decide that is sort of, you know, as I go along, as I've done for most of these builds, I've sort of decided a lot on it as I've gone along, on how it'll actually look. But the main concern that I want to address with all of the residences is that they all have frontage onto this central marketplace here. And now that we've got the extra builder with the last update, I sort of hadn't really factored that in when I initially settled here, because the update wasn't out when I decided to build here. So while I've got space for one there, possibly another here, you know, and the other ones that we mentioned earlier, I'm not really sure whether I'm going to have enough space. So what I may end up doing is throwing one of the other builders in a residence here and sort of splitting the rock face there, I guess, a little bit in two. And one of them will have, you know, expansive views over the tower over there. And they'll have sort of separate views each. So my end building line is here, as you'll see. And what I was thinking with doing what I was planning on doing is, if I decide to have it that way, I'll be able to have sort of expand on this little area here as a little sort of outlook, and make the residence sort of a little bit longer and stretching all the way along here. Have a couple of different rooms that sort of look out, and then they'll eventually end up over there. And I may even just extend the landmass over there as well, and bring it out to where those trees are, sort of above my head there. But time will tell, and as I said, it'll evolve as it goes along. I didn't even have a clear idea of what I was going to be doing this morning with you know, what I've done here, other than I wanted, you know, this doorway here to come into the residence. I make a lot of these things up as I kind of go along. I have an overarching sort of, end general goal as to what I want to do, but I sort of make it up as I go along a little bit. And prime example of that is that I hadn't intended at all for there to be a guest residence here, but it's just something that happened, and it's pretty cool. I love this guest residence. I'd like to live here myself. And it also has a link outside as well. What I'll do as well is, if you do want to take more of a look at either of these residences that I've already built, I'll put a link in the comments down below so you can check them out as well. Alright, well that's it. Enough of me sort of rabbiting on. I just wanted to give a quick update as to where we are with the survivors' residences and what my intentions are for the rest of this build for the collector. Next time we catch up, I'll make sure I've finalised this here. We'll sort of throw some books in here, plates, whatnot, a couple of more decorations on the sales desk there as well. Also, I'll make sure that we've put some planters and whatnot out here as well, so that it's a little bit greener, and so that it looks a little bit more like a cool little entry like this sort of thing does here, where it's got plants growing as well as sort of mossy stone, as well as harvestable plants as well. Right, well that's it for us this episode. We'll catch up with you next time on Glitch Gaming.